works against the stronger teams, especially, of course, that's logic. But they always fall short. It's like watching MVP Miracle oftentimes.
Yeah, I'd say it's a tough comparison because Miracle oftentimes tries the same thing over and over again. It doesn't change. They change their roles and they make slight tweaks to their play style, but in terms of drafting, they do sometimes kind of keep hitting the same stride and failing. Anyways, as we go into this first draft, Mighty will have their first removal available, and they will be able to take the first hero. It's not their map pick, though. This is the map we saw in the previous best of 5 as the first map. And the map I feel like draft is the most important on for the objective. Obviously, you don't have to. You can win the map without winning the objective even once, but this map, the objective is so strong, so important.
There's a 0-2 ban. Of course, a lot of these players come here before and also watch the first series, and I'm pretty sure all these 10 players are aware of what 0-2 is capable of in this battleground, especially. They've also saw what Gyocha did to MVP Miracle just now. So there's a 0-2 ban, giving away the options to Raven. The event Vala, which seems very likely, then the Mighty can also grab Tassadar or anything else that pairs with Tassadar.
Yep. Zeratul is also Hamlin's top pick, 6 in a row. He won't be playing the Zeratul very likely because he's moved into playing main tank. But he's, I'd say, second to NMX on the team. HGC gets the most credit because of the swaps we saw in the series against MVP Miracle, but that was only 2 games of the 29 they've played. Arthas, first pick here for Mighty. It's a bit of a surprising early Arthas pick. Obviously, he does really well in kind of most situations, no matter what, because he's a great defensive tank to have when you want to run the poke composition. So if you have Li Ming and Hammer and they try to dive in, you have Arthas who can really... I mean, Arthas is one of the tanks that just kind of slows everything down. It's almost like he alters time because he has the Howling Blast, which can stop everyone from super heavily committing through the choke points. You know, his Tempest will just slow everybody who's trying to chase. And he's super tanky and has a large health pool, so he can kind of just walk out himself. We'll see if Raven wants to commit to those pokes. They have both available in the Li Ming and the Sergeant Hammer, and they won't have Arthas to back that up. But I still feel like it's good to take one of the two and a Malfurion. So like Li Ming Malfurion here, or
would be the normal standard pick. They really want to go heavy on team fight, so Li Ming, of course, a good choice. And Malfurion is a safe one, but Nazeebo, wow. So many picks of Nazeebo coming out.
It's always Gingerbread Nazeebo too. Every time.
Makes him stronger.
I'd like to see Mighty just take the range now. They have Arthas, so they have the backup to anti-dive, if you will. Go into the Li Ming or the Hammer here. Or both. I mean, it's tough to like really commit to both. You kind of do pigeonhole yourself a little bit if you do that, but you could ban some range damage. Let's not forget that H82 does love his Artanis, and also we have seen the Valera Tyrande composition run on this map, not with Malfurion as the secondary support, or main support with Tyrande as second, but that's something that Raven has shown us twice, so we could be looking to see that type of play again. Lucio, Artanis, so they deny the Artanis pick. Go to the double tank themselves. No range whatsoever from Mighty right now. DeYoung with a laugh.
They already have Nazeebo. Nazeebo is a mage, so they can ban out Li Ming instead. In case Mighty takes it later on. They need a DPS and possibly also a mage. Mighty can also just go with triple warrior and just one mage. That's also a possibility. They can just race for that immortal.
I'm trying to feel like if there's a... Well, this is not what I expected. I was going to say if there's a catch-all ban here. Maybe the Greymane ban is just so they don't lose the race against the amateur opponent and Greymane attack speed. But Greymane doesn't have much protection here. They're not really worried about his poke. Mighty could now have a comp, theoretically, where they literally have 2 of the best tanks for this map. Arthas for defense, Artanis for racing, and the front line, and then they could have the double range in the back to solidify this. And yes, Nazeebo has a lot of poke, and he can help burn down the Immortal with his trait, but this is an incredible lineup for Mighty so far. Ban away the Alarok. They've targeted H82's hero pull down big time.
That's also true. And also limiting one of the strong solo laners. Would be against Arthas or Tannis possibly. So just limiting that option here as a second ban.
What do you even do here now as Raven? Is this like a Sonya game, or you...
I would just say maybe even go for Leaming and go for poking a little bit more and then have the solid Murden.
Yeah, that could be good. You have 2 types of AP damage, but it's not really a big problem against what Mighty has brought to the table. I could see that. There's the Muradin. Well, we knew it was most likely going to be a Muradin with the double tanks already removed from Mighty. Is it going to be Li Ming or something else? This is the Li Ming. So how does Mighty approach range damage? Falstad is still up. Be an incredible setup for the Gusts. We could see BFG and Syndragosa if Hammer comes in. We've seen that already this tournament. I mean, nearly a dead 50-50 actually in this tournament, 48-40.
They do have the Howling Blast, but with Lucio, I'd say they would need some more roots or possibly a stun. They'd also have a swap. A swap with a Howling Blast would be only last for a second, so I think they need a second CC to also connect to have that burst damage in.
Well, there's just no way for us to know which is going to be exactly. I'd like the Hammer pick, even with the Tychus, the double range Tychus with the good damage. Wow, this feels super Chinese. Triple tank, solo damage Tychus. Lucio to keep everybody healed and give extra mobility. This is a race comp that's almost impossible to kill. But in terms of team fighting, if Tychus dies, Mighty dies. So they have to make sure that he is constantly protected. They have a good setup to make sure that happens. It's really going to be Li Ming that's looking to get the extra damage in for the kill. This is a bit crazy that what Mighty is doing. I mean, the Sanctification can help Artanis do a lot more. Same with Arthas. Help protect Tychus with the extra shielding, but they need to get under the Immortals. They need to be in formation ASAP every time.
I think Falstad is a good choice, just like MBV Black's team composition. They can make an engagement, but more like for disengage with the Gust.
I think they're looking for a melee here, like a Sonya. Leoric! That's the answer to the triple tank. I don't know why that didn't come into my mind. It's Space Leoric too. The best Leoric. So, Leoric's going to try to drain Hope to deal with the front line, most likely the Artanis. That's going to be up there at range, so Artanis can't actually proc his trait to get his shields back. This game is all about killing the Tychus, though. It's not the Vala, all-in glass cannon. It's the frontliners protecting the quarterback, if you will, in the Artanis front line there with Arthas as we go into game number 1 for the second best of 5 of tonight on Battlefield of Eternity. In blue, Joju on Malfurion and Hamlin on the Zebo, NMX on Li Ming, Diong on Muradin, and H82 on Leoric.
In red, Mighty, Joker on the Arthas, Sans on Tyrael, Magi on Tychus, Nasang on Lucio, and SDE on Artanis.
So, going to be the solo DPS Tychus. Amateur opponent, smite damage. It's all about Magi. Game is going to be decided whether he lives or dies and how much damage he puts out. If he dies, they just don't have enough damage to stop the ensuing damage that comes out from Raven. And if they start to lose a fight, or if they end up behind for the Immortal phase, Raven has so much poke. See here, so much damage being done. The swap over the wall, Hamlin is caught. He will be blown up. This could be a double. DeYoung's going back on the tank this game. Gets hit by the Alling Blast, gets booped in. Joker survives, and it is a double kill.
Great catch, and look at Joker going in all the way in deep. Even when it was so low, and there's... Oh, this will be a kill for sure. Where did he go this time?
Oh! Oh, Turret stole the kill. So inappropriate.
He got one ammo down.
He did. I guess that
look
counts for
side.
something, even though it's the keep wall ammo. Some EXP lost for Mighty because of the top wave that they almost completely lost. I think SD got one of those minions, but still an overall good exchange and kind of foretelling of things to come. Uh-oh, that's not good. Also, if Lucio dies, that's a big problem for this composition because that's not enough healing for the tanks.
Yeah, for sure. And Sand's Ethereal Shield are just not enough for Magio for sure.
So we'll see if this foretells continual fights where we see picks kind of decide the fight.
We saw this team comp lots and lots of time. Muradin, Malfurion, and Azebo. Stonebolt, Root, and Zombie Wall just connecting together. There's no way out with so much CC. And if that target is Lucio, of course, you can't survive that.
Well, let's look at how well this exchange goes on the first Immortal.
Great catch on the Joju. Joju is the weaker one as support. And getting
He's dead. And now look at SDE trying to cut everybody off. He's going to have another swap in a second. Going to toss it out. Doing a lot of damage is H82. His Artanis was stolen. He's angry about it. It's actually kind of cool to see the Artanis fight against the Artanis player in the top lane. Half the Immortal goes down for no damage taken on the side of Mighty's Immortal. Sans will get out of that Drain Hope. They're going to have to tap, though, before they engage onto this one. So there's a window of time for Raven to turn this around. Ooh, Sans super low. Oh, will he get him over the wall? It's actually going to be close. Not getting it. NMX even firing his orb in to try to catch him. Doesn't happen. So Sans will hearth home and then rejoin the battle as Moggy's actually getting some extra soak. They're not going to really heavily contest right now, not until they're regrouped. Moggy's going to clear that wave and then come down. And this is going to be a better situation for Raven than it could have been with how much damage they did. They're still going to lose this Immortal, but it's going to be much less shields than Mighty would have liked. 6.5. DeYoung, cannot believe he's going to try to hearth here. What a risky move. He's actually going to get swapped into here. There's the route to follow it up. I think he should still get out, but
yeah, even took Innervate, got some mana back. Did soak a top lane of waves with Leoric just once, so was able to catch up some EXP.
Range attacks here are going to work on most of this wall before it switches into melee mode, this Immortal. Okay, now it's in melee mode. You can come in, the Howling Blast actually gets a catch on the Hamlin. Insignificant for now. DeYoung comes around the backside. Moggy wants to burst him down every time he comes in to be aggressive like this. They're going to look for it. Look at how much damage Moggy can actually do to a single target. With all this protection, he's not really afraid of anything. There's so much CC that can back him up. They get nearly the fort, and will back off as the solo lane continues.
Artanis tries for the swap and misses, and instantly goes to the bottom. I missed all that wave. So with that, Raven actually is leading in EXP because Leoric has been soaking EXP so well on top and bottom, whereas Artanis was looking for the chance of swaps, which did not connect a few times.
It just feels like Mighty right now, before Tan, is having so much trouble getting the kills. They get so many roots. There's no kills. The swaps have been overall decent, but just no follow-up. It almost feels like SDE is not swapping most of the time, just dashing for some reason. It's like the third or fourth time we've seen him do that.
He was trying to look at the angle of dashing and grabbing the opposite swapping to the tower, but
I guess if you know it's not going to work, it's best not to waste the mana to attempt.
It's also a long cooldown. So
yeah, really long cooldown.
Just holding that skill actually becomes a pressure for the opponent. So sometimes it's better not to use it for a while, especially during the team fights. Was the backline. There's the root combo onto Artanis, but Artanis soaks in a lot.
The roots have been really good, and I'm a little bit worried. Hamma does survive here. I'm a little bit worried for what happens when a tomb is up. We just see like so much CC coming in to lock down these targets that don't have much of an escape. Especially if we see an Entomb go down onto Magi. That's what I'm really most worried about. Hamlin is still very low. He's very aggressive, but he gets out. Because if Magi's not in range, they just don't have damage. So even if Magi doesn't die and he can't get in range, it's almost like they have no damage. We've seen so many roots. Joker is really on point with the roots. But it won't matter if they don't have the damage to get a kill. This is a much better position for Raven than the last Immortal. They're even going to start working on this. It's kind of at the defensive spot on opponent's side. So defend, you have to invade. So the Raven had the better setup massively. Take a 4K lead. After halftime, we'll see if Mighty wants to invade. They've got so much CC to work with, but they just don't have the follow-up damage so far. Looking for the angle. H82 with another big drain hope. Had some trouble in the solo lane, but in these team fights, he's hitting it. And great swap here.
Wow, but not much of a connecting damage. And MX is in danger indeed and does get taken out at the very end, but Joker is also very low, including Artanis on the back line.
Ooh, Joker dodging that Stormbolt is actually quite huge. They may get the pick on the Hamlin, they do. Joker will go down. Malfurion, the one to secure the kill. This game is messy to start things off here.
They got the pick, but Leeming is already dead, so there's no critical mass to follow.
And no damage from Nazebo. It's just a damageless situation now for Raven. Joju probably shouldn't stick around too far. Diong is so greedy with these hearts. I feel like it's almost like a foretelling that we may see Diong die in one of these situations. If he does it this many times, I'm like, ooh, eventually you're going to get caught.
Yeah, that is a dangerous spot to actually hearth home.
Well, they win this with actually half shields with those picks with the 2 kills on Nazebo and Li Ming. And they're going to take this opportunity to get some extra soak in the top lane as they approach level 10. They're looking to have heroics first. They already had the lead in structures from the first Immortal. The second one will get them another wall here. Some EXP available. Okay, so let's see what heroics we get. Are we getting the Syndragosa? I doubt it. Nope. Sanctification. And Sanctification is the most powerful for this team comp. It's going to allow even the Odin to do more. I remember when Draken was a thing. Feels like it's very hot and cold for Tychus, and this is which heroic is meta. Right now it's definitely on the Odin side. So a whole fort down. The extra soak, though, in the top lane for H82, he just sat up there. He can't really do much on the defense here. He can slow down the tanks, he can hurt them, but can't get on the back onto Magi, so I like this choice, and Raven really is keeping the EXP close with all the extra soak that he's been doing.
That's exactly what he's doing. He's been soaking, and now that he has Entomb, he's looking for a chance to Entomb at least one, or possibly up to 2 or more targets. Does not see the perfect angle is going in, so he's not going to try. Here's the walk again.
It's kind of a swap now. STE goes back up the top and H82 comes down, so it's always the one solo laner in the top lane getting the extra soak. This is fairly greedy because they see the rotation up from H82. STE is going to come down. No invade until too late here for Mighty, so this is not going to be taken. They're going to invade anyways, try to get the kill here onto Joju. They even commit to the pulse here. He's getting super low. He's actually body blocked. Can't escape. It's going to be a double. Oh, the swap over the wall. Can they actually cut him off? There's no fort here. Hamlin's super low. I think they're going to get him. H82 coming over, but it's not going to save him. Another root. Joker, has he missed a root? I don't think he has.
I don't think so yet.
Oh my god, the swap here too. This is starting to really come together. There's the wipe. They had some trouble in the beginning of this game, but they have cleaned it up.
Just joining the team fight as soon as it pops up. He just knowing that smell of the camp of Raven came down at the right time, hitting that. I think Nazebo would have died even if there was no swap anyhow.
Yeah, probably. Well, you saw the scout for SDE to the rotation down, and it was scouted that HA2 was not. So they knew they were going to have a lead there in the fight, so HA2 is just a little bit late. They had the scout on the camp. They couldn't deny the camp, but they were able to get so many picks that it made it worth it. So camp taken here. They stole the neutral camp. They stole the, or they couldn't steal the neutral camp, but they stole the shaman camp.
That's the perfect timing. Their camp will be pushing for a long time. Mighty, they're gonna have fun going into this race. Their camp is pushing. They have the lead. They are 13.
Another route on the Diong. He has to avatar here. Look at the tank busting though from Magi. Diong is going to get busted. Sound barrier comes up. They want more defensive Entomb used, but it's not going to save Joju. And in fact, HA2 is going to have to Wraith Walk away himself. He did build into his Wraith Walk at 4 and 7 for more protection, but him surviving is not the key factor here. It's the kills onto Joju, the kill onto Diong. That camp you were talking about will secure a fort, and this is going to be a heavily shielded Immortal that's going to go for the keep wall.
For sure, it's... Notice Immortal will actually take down the rest of the fort at the top. And soon as the with amateur opponent, just melt this Immortal down. Draven is gonna try to take some shields away, but that's not enough. 11k on that shield.
It's gonna be painful. The fort will just go down to a sneeze of Mighty. So that's not really what they're worried about. And
one or two.
Magi's like, I got this.
I'll just clean it before the Immortal.
He's like, I tossed my grenade. You guys don't need it. Does drop it out anyway.
It does exactly.
He actually does drop it. He's like, are you guys sure? All right. It'll reload. Short cooldown. Swap just barely not connecting with H82 there. So he actually did go for the Graviton Surge, so you can get double swaps now with the level 13 upgrade.
Yeah, these Vortex will just catch immensely. I think he has over 50% catching rate right now. Arthur's just finished Frost Quest.
This is still a half health Immortal. They don't have that much poke though.
They're not pressuring too far, but now they are. Now they're going for the ski for sure.
SD comes in for the swap, gets the double swap here. Sanctification to help them hard engage. They look for the kill here onto HA2. They are going to have it.
Perfectly placed with the beam onto the back, and Joju was forced to go back because the beam was chasing him. Nicely executed by Mighty just now.
Super early keep now, 1330. HA2 is going to respawn. He's looking for some death timer reduction. Not going to happen.
Like the fact he is split soaking for his team to catch up on EXP, but Leoric isn't really helping too much during the team fight, so rather would have liked the false stat pick if possible. If he was going to be going for that split soak, I think maybe a global hero, maybe even a Dehaka could have been a little bit better than Leoric from what I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely something to ponder on. As another route gets set off here onto NMX.
Magi's not scared of anything.
Nope.
He just
so much protection in terms of CC. One more route. Hamlin using the ice block here is going to go down though. Nasong just boops that scary Gargantuan away. He's going to heal up.
Magi was in tune, but he just walks away with no follow-ups at all.
This has not been a good game here for Raven, sadly.
It is not, totally not. And what's making it super hard for Joju to actually protect his teammate is because Mighty has been focusing so well. They would focus one target and then they would switch when the target actually gets healed and the heal goes on cooldown. So Joju can't save everyone at the same time. Great focusing by Mighty.
Mighty's going to start this race now. 5k. H82 coming over. And they are going to get the camp. The camp actually delaying them. With amateur opponent here, Tychus, obviously they have the better racing composition. All Raven has is poke, so if they just want to accept that they're going to lose this Immortal, they can do that, but they're going to have to accept the consequences of that action. as the next Immortal is going to go directly towards the second keep. There's a huge push top lane during all of this, by the way. As the fight commences, Sound Barrier, very well timed. Joju does use his Ice Block here. Hamlin should have his in a moment. There it is. Does not enough to save Joju, though. Do get one kill, looking for the resets here.
And NMX does get the reset, but the rest of Mighty are way too healthy. They were on the sanctification, canceling so much damage.
Look at the top push.
Raven.
It's about to be triple catapults at 15:55, almost 16 minutes into the game. Triple catapults on the core. This counter pressure will actually get the fort, but that's much less significant. It looks like even they want to send Sands to clear it. I think it should go down that bot fort. But this is going to be nearly a fully shielded Immortal going directly to the keep.
Yep, and soon after the keep, they actually do not finish it because they want to stall some time. They want to call them up and even maybe try to go with the camp right next to it. Okay, there we go. They finish it just in time.
Yeah, that was interesting.
They wanted everyone to heart back poke.
Yeah, they wanted to have
get their health back.
Not the full health. I mean, with the spawning time, I guess they would have had it, but now they're fully set up. They're even going to pre-push this a little bit. I think that's more of the reason. Both the mana and the pre-push so that this can be set up to do as much range damage as possible. There's a lot of poke for Raven defensively here, but I don't know, man. These swaps have been on point. Joker has not missed a single route. Feels like that's another route. I mean, it doesn't do anything, but he didn't miss it. Okay, he was just scouting, but it still hit. Okay.
And here's almost half shielded. There's a swap tried, but Hamlin just juked away. He has to pop that avatar to get out, and that will be one less Morden to think of. And Ice Block, great dodge by Joju just now.
You know, it's just, it feels like it doesn't matter anyways if he survives or not. So Mortal is going to go directly to the core. There's the kill onto H82. And this looks like it's going to be game 17 kills to 4.
There's a swap right into his own zombie wall of Hamlin.
The
he
mega
uses
swap.
the Ice Block, but that's not going to be enough, of course. Right in the middle of Mighty.
Beam, and this is going to be a wipe to end it. SDE just trying to get one more shield. Doesn't even need it. That is GG. DeYoung survives, but the core does not. Mighty's going to take game number 1 at 18 minutes on the dot, 14-4. Had a tough early game, but started hitting the roof.